Welcome to the Fast Host Proactive Podcast, Spill the IT. Each episode, we'll sit down with some of the amazing Proactive team and chat through their experiences of the ups and downs of IT infrastructure management in small businesses. There's always plenty to chat about.
Welcome back, everybody, to another podcast session with the team here at Fast Host Proactive. This morning, we're recording live at the Fast Host Proactive data center. And it's the first time I've been here. It's a really impressive facility. So I'm thanking the guys for allowing us to use this and be here today. And with me, I have Frank, who's the head of commercial and product at Fast Host Proactive. And I've got Matt, who is our partner manager here today. So morning, chaps. How are you?
Well, very good, thank you. Yeah, thanks for coming. It is a pretty cool facility. I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be talking about a lot more about it today. But before we start, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourselves, background, where you come from, and what brings you here today?
I'll kick off. I've been with Fast Host on and off for the last probably 10, 12 years. My most recent time was in part for the Fast Host Proactive business. We've been going at Fast Host for 25 years now. Doing a really good job of providing self-service IT and web hosting for our customers. And what we've done with Fast Host Proactive is offer that skill set out to the wider business world. And it's going well. I think we're kind of doing that management for our customers and they can concentrate on the nitty-gritty of their business. So yeah, a little bit about me.
Fantastic. Good. Matt?
Hi, I am partner manager for Fast Host. Been with the business for a number of years now through various different roles. Currently working as partner manager and looking after the Fast Host's customers who are working with Fast Host's customers effectively, providing support services, design services, who need someone that they can be in contact with to access high levels of support and different features and functions that we make available to them.
So we're here today to talk about the Fast Host Proactive referral program, just to get a little bit more under the skin, understand what it's about, use this medium of a podcast to share it to your wider audience. So Frank, why don't you give me sort of a top-level overview of this scheme and why at Fast Host Proactive you actually brought this to market?
Yeah, so at first we were dealing with mostly direct customers, so small businesses that have a requirement for us to help out their IT, as I touched upon earlier. But we quickly identified we were talking to a lot of other businesses who were kind of introducing us, and we want to reward them for that, and in the spirit of becoming true partners. Bit of a cheesy term, but where it works, right? And so we started kind of talking to IT consultant types, or maybe small IT management companies or web designers and things like that they could get so far with what they were doing for the management of the infrastructure, but they couldn't have, whether it through resource, whether it through skill set, they couldn't take it to the next level. So what we then do, they'd come and speak to us, and some of them white label it, some of us introduce it direct. It's we're quite easy with that, but they would introduce us. We would take on some of their harder, for want of a better phrase, client requirements. We would take that customer on a run with it and obviously reward them for that fact. So the way the scheme works is they make the introduction, we talk to obviously both of you, we keep you as involved or not as the case may be, and whatever the contract may turn out to be, some will be bigger than others of course, we pay you back of the first year's revenue. Really straightforward, really simple to understand, and we've had a great start with some really good trusted partners in this.
So frankly, you talk about some of the typical challenges. Matt, let's talk about some of those challenges that some of those customers may be having, because obviously from what I can see from a Fast Host Proactive perspective, the infrastructure support that you and your team here can give is massive. So what's the sort of some of the support that you can give? What's special about Fast Host Proactive in giving that service?
Fast Host Proactive is able to provide the next level of support for the businesses that have been previously supported by some of our customers and our partners. They find that they've been working with their customers for a very long time. They have great relationships with them, but when they get to the point where they're not able to meet their requirements moving forward as they begin to scale up, we're able to step in and provide a sort of a transition, but maintaining the relationship with the Fasthost customer or partner that we've previously been working with, and that works really well for them. It also means that they have a degree of control. They trust Fasthost as a brand generally as well, and it's there to solve a problem which they've previously had to go to maybe other providers which perhaps they haven't had that relationship as in the past, and it's one that they can trust and that they can work with us more in the future as well.
I think the term proactive is really good for this service, because as my understanding is, and been working with you now for a number of months, that's what you're doing. You're proactively supporting those customers, trying to foresee the pitfalls, the challenges almost before they happen, and I suppose what you're doing is making them look good.
Absolutely, and I think it's going back to the difference between Fasthost and Fasthost Proactive. It's actually quite an important differentiation in that there's quite a different skill set. It's very self-service in Fasthost. What we do in Fasthost Proactive is we do the management, we do the patching, we do the security, we do the updates. We give you a monthly reporting pack. So again, all these things, like you say, almost the reflected glory is probably too strong a term, but you know what I mean, of that is handed over to the end customer, who are then confident and comfortable that their business is being looked after and managed correctly. So yeah, it is all very proactive, as you say.
Yeah, and similarly from the point of view of the IT support provider that's previously been working with that customer, it means that they no longer have the headache of having to check their phones or have alerts in the middle of the night where things are not quite working out and then need to take action. That's proactive, takes that away from them as well. So that's an additional benefit.
I've always felt it, and I use it as a term that Fasthost Proactive. You have their back. While they're getting on doing their job, you're supporting them with everything and the excellence you have here.
Yeah, I think a really good example I mentioned, the idea kind of came out of IT consultant type businesses. There's a guy we went to an event at Cheltenham Racecourse. Sadly not the races, but one of the small business networking events, and I'm talking to again, he was a 1 or 2 man band. He used Fasthost, and again, it was more of a lifestyle business. So actually, the hassle for him was if something broke at the weekend or if something broke out of hours, he did not want to do that. He was quite happy with his day to day. So his customers that had more requirement for uptime and that being crucial to their business, he was almost shying away from that because he didn't want that responsibility. So what he now does is he manages the smaller ones, the easier ones himself through Fasthost. And with Fasthost Proactive, we take he can now offer that service out through us and still earn off it, which is obviously important to him. But he just didn't want that side of the business to impact on his life, which is, I agree for what it's worth, but neither do I.
So the service that we're talking about today, and I know, Frank, you touched on it, you said about IT consultants, but it's not just for IT consultants, isn't it? It's for lots of businesses out there, 1 or 2 man bands, who need this operational strength and support to support what they're trying to do and promote themselves to their client base. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I say, it very much started with the IT consultant type, but we soon realised that again, a couple of examples. We've been talking to a couple of the startup banks because again, there's a real cross-pollination there of customer bases. They really strongly support small businesses in their growth. They provide the banking services. We do a similar thing in supporting them in their IT requirements. So again, there's certainly a win-win opportunity there for us referring to them on similar schemes, and obviously them referring to us in the same, things like business advisors in that kind of space, in that small to medium business space. Again, they've got their clients they're advising on, maybe accountancy, they're advising maybe on general business understanding. Sure. Where do I host my IT? Well, actually, we know this company, we work with them very well, we're a trusted partner. Again, it's that referral then comes in and they earn from it, and we benefit from that relationship that they've got with the the business, and they benefit from, and again, the recommending a trusted business that will do the business for them.
Yeah, I mean, as you're talking there, I'm thinking about venture capitalists. So venture capitalists putting investment into businesses, and even for startups, actually saying, look, I'm going to give you my money, but actually what we can't afford to do is fall over with our IT. And it's almost like that's a channel to market for them to be sort of recommended, for referring you in from that aspect. They want those businesses to be secure and trading correctly. And obviously IT support and everything is so important. And why invest putting it in your own premises, on-prem as such? It would be mad.
Absolutely, and we are having lots of those conversations now, and it's really interesting. Like I say, it's as always with these things, you start off in one direction, you end up going somewhere
things start
somewhere
sort of
totally
opening up,
different, and
yeah.
I think they're certainly the more interesting conversations again, because you're almost then taking it out of the IT world, which is all, you know, RAM and CPUs and hard drives, well, actually you're then talking business conversations, and that's what ultimately we want to be able to do at Proactive, I suppose, is be involved. You know, almost the goal is to have a seat at the table. You know, you're their strategist, you're their virtual CTO almost, and those are the kind of spaces that we're looking to move forward into, and I think the referral scheme enables us to get in there a bit earlier, because they've already got part of that relationship.
Yeah. So let's go through a scenario, and we've not necessarily talked this through. So how are you supporting the people that are going to refer your service? So obviously they're aware of what you do, but obviously in the narrative and how they talk to their customer base and how they weave that in, is that something that you work closely in partnership with at the referral stage? So you may come in as Fast Host Proactive. I think you said at the beginning, you might white label, you might go in under their name. But is that commonly done where you would, or do you give a deck or some support literature, or what's the general procedure of that?
I think the bulk of the ones I'd argue have worked best so far is where we got in together. So again, we can provide all that kind of information. We've got all sorts of bits that we can very easily white label. But again, typically we arrange a virtual call, as now is the modern way.
Over pixels.
Yeah, face to face where possible, but you know, we can't have it all. And we kind of introduce the end customer to the team with the partner present. And again, the partner is there to help guide them with their decision as well. Yeah. So that's important, that we're not in the room for the whole conversation. So we go in, we help, we understand the requirement, we understand what the pain points are. You know, what is your challenge here? Is it you can't grow on your current platform? Is it the current platform breaks a lot? Is it the current platform support unit is terrible? You know, whatever that might be, we help them to understand what the pain points are, and then obviously hopefully demonstrate back how we can solve them, or help to solve them at least. But yeah, I think it's very important for us to demonstrate to the partner as well as the end customer that we're in this together. That it's not just a fire and forget. We can have those, we'll take those, don't get me wrong. But again, I found so far that that's the best way of enabling these conversations.
And I guess I was just about to say, man, that I guess future-proofing. So obviously the journey you start with through this referral program and allowing Fast Host Proactive to be part of that solution, future-proofing the relationship, making sure that you're not only there to support them today, you're going to be there to support them throughout the whole journey. So I would have thought is embellishing that message about what potentially you can do for them in the future is a big part of that as well.
It is very, very much so, and as Frank alluded to, you know, that's very much the sort of approach that's been adopted. But it's also important, you know, to point out that Proactive can take on full responsibility for the lead as well. So it could be a case of we just have a relationship with a business, with a partner that refers to Proactive, and then that's the end of the relationship. That's as much as they need to be involved. But we can take on full ownership, we can take on the full management of their customer, the referred customer, if that's how they want to approach the partnership agreement.
Yeah, there's one we're working with at the moment actually, where it's an online, I'll call it a legal magazine kind of thing. So their target is law firms, and they've got like a partner referral page. It's not just us, but they pick. You've seen loads of them, right? So they pick an IT company. They've probably got coffee delivery company, whatever, all these different things, and again, so that is very low touch for them. They basically want to just hand it off to us and take a fee,
almost like an affiliate scheme.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But again, it's not an online transaction with Fast House Proactive. There's a lot of understanding, a lot of scoping, and a lot of work that goes in before we can even get to the solution going live. It's but again, that's the difference there. Those guys just, here's a contact, go. Whereas, like I said, the more IT-based ones, I suppose, are the more involved and the more ones that do it that way.
Yeah, very interesting. And we were talking, weren't we, just before the podcast, just the support that this gives from a referral perspective. And we all know, like, when you're a smaller provider and you're dealing with corporate business and you're trying to win a chunk of business, you have so many boxes you have to tick in relation to your IT operational infrastructure. So sustainability obviously is the big one in the window right now, and everyone's talking about. We're going to be talking to Simon, the CEO of Fast House Proactive, a little bit later about that. But that has to have a massive benefit in having all those tick boxes and being able to just push that through and say, yeah, we've got sustainability, we've got operational recovery, we've got certainty, et cetera, for the smaller provider to have that and not worry about it, to give business opportunity. I guess it's driving that, isn't it?
I think the worry point you say there is we try to take the worry away, and I think there's two key things around, for me at least. One is ISO 27001, which basically a lot of the tick boxes you talk about kind of gets covered on that, and we take that whole burden away. The fact that we are Tier 4 certified in this data centre and that's certified by the Uptime Guarantee Institute, which basically means there's a whole plethora of reasons why we're online more than most. And then you talk about the I guess the green credentials piece as well. Yeah. There's like you say, there's a whole conversation you're having later about the 1 million solar panels on the roof and the bio oils and all that kind of stuff.
And just the overall efficiency and effectiveness of the data center and the technology that's being used here, and also that we're planning on using moving forward as well. It's very impressive.
So it's not just referring's sake as such. It's a real strong commercial reason to do that.
I think so. Yeah. And like I say, we've plumbed in the commercial aspect because it's important in these partnerships to have that.
Sure.
But again, I feel, we've got some, and this applies to direct customers as well. We've got some customers we're talking to later. I think it's important that we explore the opportunities out there together, and that should benefit everyone involved, right? Is my view on it, at least.
So let's talk about SaaS providers, because that must be a massive part of your business here, and have massive benefit in relation to partner programs. Obviously, economies of scale, benefits, rewards, and things like that. Just talk to me about that part of your business.
Yeah, so I think we talked about how we designed it. It was to take some of the administrative headache away from some of our partners who resell onto their customers. But one of the consequences of this as well is, Matt mentioned before around volume customers. So we've got some really big SaaS platforms on our infrastructure. Financial software, we've got 2 or 3 of the big players actually using our platform for that purposes. So when their customers are logging on to their software, they're actually logging onto the Fast House platform in the background. So that these partners are buying multiple bits of our infrastructure and in effect reselling it, but with the software layer on top. So like I say, it was a bit of an unexpected consequence in that these guys, in order to facilitate them getting access to the volume discounts, they went through the partner program. That gave them access to Matt and that network, I suppose, and it ended up working really well. So we found a real sweet spot in what we do in that kind of market, which is really cool.
Oh, that sounds great, because they can just concentrate being great at what they do in developing their product and not having to worry about that infrastructure support behind that. You're giving them that within the partner program, I guess.
That's right, yeah, with account management and also additional service level agreements.
Sort of customer success and things like that, yeah.
And we're working together to try and help them make it easier to work with Fast Hosts.
Yeah, really interesting. Very good. So, the $1 million question. People out there listening to this, watching this podcast, how do they join the referral program? Who do they get in touch with? How do they make that happen?
All they need to do is go to our website, which is proactive.fasthouse.co.uk, and you will go to the contact us in the top right and just fill in the form, and we will get in touch and we will talk from there. Obviously, there's a phone number. Please call us on that as well. But yeah, it's really, really straightforward. We will talk you through every step of the way.
Fantastic. Well, look, it's been really good chatting that through this morning. A great opportunity for business out there looking at this as a possibility. But until the next time, that's it for today's podcast of Spill the IT. We'll see you next time. Thanks very much, guys.